Hello everyone, I am Manohar Kumar, Assistant Professor of English from Government College Devgarh. As you know, last few days we have been discussing on the poem Elegy written in a country churchyard composed by Thomas Gray, one of the great transition poets. And about this poem from stanza 1st to 13 we mm, have already discussed, and now today we will discuss on the 14th stanza of this poem. So let us start the poem. The 14th stanza of the poem: full many a gem of purest ray serene, the dark unfathomed caves of ocean bear. Full many flowers is born to blush unseen, and waste its sweetness on the desert air. One of the most important stanzas of this poem. This stanza is important for explanation in the examination, so take it seriously. And most quotable stanza, and they in this stanza uh, metaphors are used. This is metaphorical stanza. Full many a gem of purest ray serene. Full many a gem of purest ray serene. Serene means bright. Serene means here bright. The dark, unfathomed caves of ocean bear. Unfathomed means unmeasured. Unfathomed means unmeasured. Full many a flower is born to blush. Blush means bloom. Unseen, unadmired. And waste. Waste means spoil, decay. Its sweetness, fragrance on the desert air, on in deserted area, wasteland, barren land. So here, this is the most famous stanza in the elegy and one of the finest in English poetry. It means that many people possessing exceptional talents and gifts live and die unknown because they find no opportunity to develop or display those gifts. So, there are many people who have lots of gifts bestowed by the nature, uh, but they uh, couldn't find opportunity to develop or to display, to express their talent, to express their gifts. So here metaphorical description in this stanza, the poet says, this is most important stanza in the elegy, and the poet says that there are many exquisite gems, exceptionally bright and beautiful, that lie at the bottom of the measurably deep oceans. So, there are many bright and beautiful gems and lie at the bottom of the immeasurable deep ocean. But these gems uh, are out of reach of human being. So these beautiful gems cannot display and cannot expose their brightness and their beauty to the world, because so here the poet says some gems which are lie in the bottom of the ocean, but we cannot get them, and so their beauty cannot be exposed to the world. These gems remain unknown to the mankind, and second, many beautiful flowers bloom in the wilderness where nobody can see their beauty or smell their fragrance. The flowers in the wilderness as well as the gems in the depth of the ocean remain unknown to the world. Likewise, in the same way, there may have been among these humble dead lying in this country churchyard some individuals whose talents or gifts or potentialities remained undeveloped and unknown. In short, there may have been men in this village who never had an opportunity to show their hidden greatness, like the gems and like the beautiful flowers of deserted area. So this stanza is very important, or two metaphors are described in this stanza: the metaphor of gems and the metaphor of beautiful flower which grows in deserted area. Again, I want to explain this stanza. Full many a gem of purest ray, serene, the dark unfathomed caves of Asian bear. Full many a gems of purest ray, many gems which are light in the unfathomed ocean, bottom of the unfathomed ocean, and these gems can't any ray of the sun. Means these gems which are beautiful, which are very bright, which are invaluable, but these gems can't expose their beauty, they can't display their brightness to the mankind, because these are out of reach the common mankind. And the second metaphor, fully many flowers is born to blush unseen. Many flowers grows in the desert, but they decayed, they spoils, and they withered in the desert without any admiration, because there are lack of mankind. They cannot expose their beauty, their fragrance. There was no one to get these these flowers fragrance, and there was no one to get to enjoy the beauty of these flowers, and they withered in the desert without any admiration. So, like the flowers and gems, many lie buried for forefathers are died without any admiration, because they uh, didn't find any opportunity to to express, to display their gifts, to display their talent. Now, the next stanza of this poem: some village Hampden that with dauntless breast, the little tyrant of his fields withstood some mute inglorious Milton here may rest, and some Cromwell guiltless of his country's blood. Here again the poet describes the lack of opportunity, the want of opportunity of poor forefathers, and the poet says many of the poor forefathers, many of the libraried people might have, like the Hampden, might have like Milton, and might have Cromwell. So this stanza is have the historical allusions here. Some village Hampden that with dauntless breast. Dauntless means fearless heart. Some village Hampden, some village patriot might have like the like Hampden, like मतलब fearless Hampden. Who was Hampden? John Hampden courageously refused to pay the ship money during the reign of Charles I. So Hampden was a courageous man who refused to pay the ship money during the reign of Charles I. Some village Hampden that with dauntless breast, fearless heart, the little tyrant of his field withstood, and some little tyrants of his fields withstood. And again the poet says, John Hampden had defied the king by refusing in ship money, and among the someone who boldly defied a cruel taskmaster in the field, and who under more favorable circumstances. Again here the poet says, some mute inglorious Milton here may rest. Some mute means silent. Inglorious means unknown. Milton here may rest. Some might have like Milton, and Milton here may rest. Rest means lie buried. Some Cromwell guiltless of his country's blood, and some might have like Cromwell, who was responsible for the country's bloodshed, for the innocent bloodshed in the country. Cromwell, who was Cromwell? Cromwell, the great Puritan leader, from 15 sorry 1649 to 1658, who rebelled against the authority of the King Charles I. In this line, Cromwell is looked upon as a criminal responsible for great bloodshed shed in his country. So, the poet says that some might have, some liberated poor forefathers might have, like Cromwell, who was responsible for the great bloodshed in his country. Some might have, like the unknown Milton, like the Milton, who was already known, but here Gray refers here unknown Milton, and some village poor forefathers might have, like courageous Hampden, who refused to pay the ship money, and some poor liveried might have, like merciless taskmaster master in the field. So, in this stanza, also the poet says that many poor forefathers might have, like Hampden, like Milton, like Cromwell, and like uh, taskmaster, cruel taskmaster in their fields, but they didn't they didn't get opportunity to uh, display their talent, to express their talent. So this stanza has the historical allusions, and the poet here gives some historical examples to compare them with liveried poor forefathers. So it was your stanza of this poem, and now in our next lesson we will discuss on next stanzas of this poem. Thank you for today.